Python is marketed as an accessible language, but among self-taught learners, you see a massive dropout rate characterized by sudden dead ends. People rarely quit because the syntax itself is too difficult to grasp. They quit because they suffer from navigational collapse. They spend a week on variables, another on a machine learning video, and then copy a web app, leaving them with random bursts of activity but zero structural progression. Expectation: a straight line from variables to AI developer. Reality: a cycle of typing that creates the illusion of progress. But when the tutorial ends and you face a blank screen, momentum flatlines. You only learned to copy the answer, not formulate it. To actually build useful systems, you must trade the comfortable illusion of rapid progress for the friction and struggle of independent problem solving. We are going to deconstruct a practical 5-stage Python roadmap. The goal here is to separate the mandatory foundation you need from the specialized hype you can safely ignore. The first trap learners fall into during stage 1 is treating Python like a vocabulary test. They memorize what a loop or a dictionary is, but they skipped the crucial step of translating a plain language problem into a logical sequence. A computer cannot interpret a broad command like "analyze this spreadsheet." It requires exact microscopic operations. Open the file, read each row, calculate the totals, and display the final result. Before you type a single line of Python, step away from the keyboard and get a piece of paper. Describe a problem in English sentences, then convert each into an instruction. Memorizing syntax to pass a multiple-choice coding quiz yields fragile knowledge. Real programming is the discipline of structuring sequential logic. Once you understand basic logic, you hit the stage 2 friction point. This is where learners actively delay learning Git, virtual environments, and dependency management, because setting them up feels like a roadblock to writing scripts. Delaying these tools gives you a short-term reward. You bypass the headache of terminal configuration, and you get the immediate satisfaction of writing a script that works right now on your specific machine. But look at the resulting trade-off in this diagram. On the left, you get a bursting folder of disorganized files. Your code crashes the moment it runs on another computer, your package versions conflict with each other, and you have absolutely no verifiable project history to show an employer. On the right is your minimum viable Python scorecard: variables, loops, functions, Git, and eventually SQL. These form a non-negotiable tool belt, regardless of whether you end up building web apps or training neural networks. Using version control and environments moves your work from a single machine experiment to a reproducible project. It allows other people to run, test, and verify your logic without your direct assistance. As you move past scripts, you will encounter object-oriented programming, or OOP. This is a powerful method used to model systems where data and behavior belong together, like a customer record linked to their order history. The trap here is enthusiasm. Immediately after learning how to create classes and objects, beginners try to force every single piece of code they write into that structure. This creates highly convoluted theoretical architectures for tasks that require only a few lines of logic. You end up with a massive web of classes for a straightforward file reader that could have been handled by 2 clean, isolated functions. The rule of thumb is practical. Prefer simple functions for direct tasks. Only reach for classes when multiple objects actually share a common structure or need to maintain an ongoing state. Wrapping a simple process in unnecessary architecture does not prove advanced skill. It merely makes a program harder to read, harder to debug, and harder to hand off to someone else. There is a massive temptation to skip the middle steps and jump straight into high-level libraries, like Django for web development or scikit-learn for machine learning. The allure is obvious. Within an hour, you can generate impressive surface-level results. You have a deployed web page or a model predicting housing prices, which feels like an instant victory. This progression chart reveals the flaw in that approach. By aggressively skipping the middle nodes, you bypass the logic that powers the system. You are relying on a library to handle data formatting and exception logic that you don't yet know how to write yourself. When these surface-level systems inevitably encounter unexpected data and break, you will lack the foundational debugging skills required to trace the error and fix it. Skipping data structures, input validation, and SQL will strictly cap your professional ceiling. Flashy initial output cannot survive poor architecture. This specialization map illustrates our central point. Python serves as a foundation, but its practical utility is determined by how you apply it to a specific domain. Let's look at the time-poor optimizer. If your goal is business efficiency and eliminating repetitive manual work, you belong here. Strictly ignore web frameworks. Direct your study entirely toward file operations, CSV parsing, interacting with APIs, and task scheduling. Alternatively, consider the career pivoter drawn to data science. The urge is to start running predictive models immediately. Do not do this. Your curriculum demands a heavy investment in NumPy, Pandas, and SQL. You must build data cleaning pipelines to handle missing values before you touch analysis. Committing to one clear specialization provides a massive advantage. It gives you permission to ignore completely irrelevant tools and maximize the return on every single hour you spend studying. Finally, we need to address the hype-driven learner who is picking up Python specifically to build artificial intelligence and machine learning models. You cannot bypass the friction of mathematics. Alongside your code, you must actively learn probability, statistical reasoning, and linear algebra concepts. Applying AI algorithms without understanding the math beneath them is just blind application. It merely results in models that fail entirely when they encounter real-world data patterns the system wasn't designed to handle. Progress shows in your ability to explain your logic clearly and trace the source of an error when the program stops. Look at the roadmap. Select your single specialization branch. Build a flawed version 1.0, figure out why it broke, and iteratively improve it. Escaping the tutorial trap requires abandoning passive consumption. You have to step away from the guided examples, face the blank screen, and embrace the friction of building reliable systems yourself.